Hey, so today we are going to be making one of these little sunflower bookmarks. They're super quick, super easy to make, and you don't need much yarn at all for these. So what I'm using is a 3.5mm crochet hook. You can adjust this depending on what weight yarn you've got. So if you've got a thicker yarn, you can use a bigger hook, or a thinner yarn, thinner hook. A darning needle, pair of scissors, and then you've also got your 3 different colours of yarn. So I've got brown, yellow and green, and this is the make of the yarn. It's Rikarumi DK 100% cotton. I always get lots of questions asking what kind of yarn I use in these videos, and I'd really highly recommend using this. It's super nice to use, super cheap as well actually for the quality as well. So there you have it. So to begin, what we're going to do is we're going to take our brown, pull it out, and we're going to make the centre of our sunflower. So I'm going to start off by making a magic circle. I will link a video in the little corner bit of how to make one of those if that's something you haven't done before. And then once we've got our circle, what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet 6 into the centre. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is take that little tail and just give it a pull, tighten up my crochet. So now we're going to move on to our second row, and what we're going to do is 12 single crochets, which will be 2 in each of the 6 single crochets you just did in the previous row. So we go into this next one, and we go 1, and then back into that very same hole we do another single crochet. We then move on to the next stitch, single crochet, and then back again into the same hole, single crochet. So we've done 4 and we need 12 in total, so we continue doing that for the rest of the row. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go, and that is our second row complete. So what we're going to do for the third row is we want 18 stitches. So that will be single crochet 1 in the next stitch, and then in the stitch after, single crochet 2, and then we go 1, 2, 1, 2, the whole way around until we have 18 in total. So into the next stitch we do 1 single crochet, into the next stitch after that we do 2, so 1 and then back into the same hole, 2. So now we have 3 in total, and we go into the next stitch, we do 1, and then the stitch after that we do 2, and we complete that, carry on doing that the whole way around. So we've now got 6, so 17, 18. So now we've got 18 in total. What we're going to do is do a slip stitch into that next hole. So we just pop our hook in, catch the yarn and pull it through. So we've got 2 loops on the hook, and then bring that first loop under the second loop, and then pull our hook up, take our scissors and snip the tail. And then we can pull that tail through the loop to tighten it off, and that's the centre of our sunflower. So now we're going to do the petals. So we need to take our yellow yarn, pull it out. And what we're going to do is take our hook and pop it into one of the stitches at the top, just like so. And then we're going to make a slip knot with our yellow. I'll post a little video link as well in the corner for that if that's something you don't know how to do. And then you pop the loop on the hook, tie it up, and then we're going to bring that loop through the hole, the single crochet. Okay, so now we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and now we're going to do a triple crochet. So this is a US terminology. If you were to use a UK terminology, that would be a, what would that be? That would be a double treble. So yarn over twice, pop the hook into the hole, catch the yarn, pull it through, so you've got 4 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over, pull our hook through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, pull our hook through the second 2 loops, yarn over for a third time, and we're going to pull our hook through the last 2 loops on the hook. Okay, and now we're going to do a double crochet in US terminology, or a treble crochet in UK terminology. So we yarn over once, pop our hook into the hole, catch the yarn, pull it through, yarn over, pull our hook through the first 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over, pull the hook through the second 2 loops on your hook. Okay, and now we're going to go into the next stitch, which is actually the top of our slip stitch from the previous row. I'm going to catch the yarn, pull it through, and just do a slip stitch, like so. Now a really good tip here is to keep these 2 tails, is to keep them under your crochet. So when I make my petals, I'm going over the top of them. So what we're going to do for the second petal is we're going to start with a double crochet. So we yarn over once, or UK treble, and then we catch the yarn, pull through 2, catch the yarn, pull through 2. And you can see that I have done that over the back, and the 2 tails are caught in the stitch. Now this is going to be really handy for when it comes to tying off, because it means you're not going to have to tie in 4 extra ends. It'll only be it'll only be 2, and if you're anything like me and you hate tying in ends, that's a godsend. So now we're going to do our US treble, and then we do 1 more double, and that's all going into the same hole. Okay, and then we're going to slip stitch into the next single crochet, and then into the next one we're going to do our 1 double, 1 treble, 1 double, and we're going to repeat that the whole way round. So we do our slip stitch, and then we continue with our petals, all the while making sure my tails are caught in behind the back of these petals. Okay, so once we've made our last petal, what we're going to do is do it in a final slip stitch into our last hole, and we're going to flip our sunflower so you can see the back of the petal, and we're just going to pop our hook into the back of one of the double crochets, catch the yarn, pull it through, and then put it through the loop on your hook to do a kind of slip stitch into the back to secure it. Snip tail, and then pull that tail through like that. Now, so what we need to do is we need to tie in our ends before we move on. So I'm going to take my darning needle, I'm going to flip it over. Now remember I said about making sure these tails here were captured under your petals, and so that means for these 2 bits of yarn here we can literally just snip them like so, because they're already tied in, and then that just means these last 2 strands we can just stitch them into the back to make sure nothing's going to come undone. Okay, so now I'm just going to snip those off. And there we have part 1 of our sunflower bookmark finished. Okay, so what we're going to want to do now is do the tail of our bookmark, so the bit that's actually going to go through your pages. And so for that I'm going to be using this green yarn here. I'm going to pull a bit out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a slip knot. Take our sunflower and flip it over. So what we're going to do is we're just going to poke our hook through the back of one of the treble crochets on the back of the petal. Okay, and then we're going to take our slip knot, pop it on the hook and tighten it up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to chain 50. So we will do, catch the yarn, put it through, catch the yarn, put it through. Now I'm doing 50 because that's how many I need based on my tension and yarn weight and hook size. You might need a slightly different number. The best way I would recommend of doing this is just take a book and basically just hold it up against the size of the book that you want to be able to use this for. So, you know, sort of A5 size. But so for now we're going to do 50. Okay, so now we've got our 50 chains. What we're going to do is I'm just going to pull this hook out a little bit. So we've got a loop, and then I'm going to snip a little tail and pull that tail through the loop to tie it off. So that is the majority of our bookmark done, and all that's left now is to make these little leaves at the bottom of your bookmark that are going to stick out the bottom of your page, and I just think they're quite cute. So to make our leaves, what we're going to do is we're going to take our yarn again. That's all tangled. And then we're going to look at our chain, and what we want to do is we want to count 5. So this is the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're going to pop our hook in, and then we're going to make a slip knot with our green. We're going to pop that on the hook, pull it through the chain, and now we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're going to go back on ourselves. So ignoring that first chain on the hook, we're going to single crochet into that second chain from the hook, and then we're going to carry on back along that little row 2 more times. So 2 more single crochets. So 1, 2. So now we need to do is we need to jump across our chains to carry on with our leaves on the other side of the plant. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop our hook into the chain, catch the yarn, pull it through like so, and then we're going to chain 4 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then missing that first chain from the hook, we're going to go into the second with a single crochet, and then 2 more times back along. We'll do 1 single crochet in each chain, so that's 3 single crochets. Okay, and then what we're going to do, as you can see here, we've got the front, and then we've got, if you flip it over, we've got the back. So I'm going to pop my hook into the back of this chain, yarn over and do a slip. stitch. So just pull them through like that, and then we can pull our loop up, snip it off like so, and tighten it up. And there we have our leaves. So now we've got these two little ends that we need to tie in. So we take our darning needle again. I'm going to make sure we're working into the back of our leaf. Give it a little tug to make sure it's nice and tight. And then I'm just going to pop the hook under the loops in the back of the leaf. So let me snip that off. And then last one here. Give it a tug, and then placing our needle through the back of the loops of the other leaf, like so. Now that is our leaves done. So the very last thing to do, I like to leave a bit of a tail at the bottom here. I think it looks like a kind of a cute little root, but feel free to chop that a little bit closer if you like. The last thing we need to do is tie off the top of our sunflower. So you want to give that tail a little tug. You don't want anything coming undone. We're going to use our darning needle. And we're basically just going to take the needle, go under that green loop, the back of the sunflower, and tie a knot. Make sure that's nice and tight, and then we're going to do it one more time. Okay, so once you've tied that second knot, all you need to do is snip that tail super close to the knot, so there's nothing hanging off, and that is your completed bookmark. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a little like and subscribe, it's super helpful for me. And I've also got a Instagram account, so if you do end up making one of these for yourself, it'd be super great if you could tag me in it. I love seeing everything that you guys make, it really does make my day. So thank you very much for watching.